Hello, everyone. In this session, I have author Zebbra Henry. She's joining me in observance of National Life Writing Month. Hello, Zebbra. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing today, Chris?
Very well, very well. Hey, thanks again so much for joining me for this segment. You are a published author, I think, and you're going to address this later. You are
Yes,
working on some other writings, if you will, specifically another book. Um,
absolutely.
but I first want to know, how did your desire to write come about?
Okay. My desire to write came about around the age of 16.
Okay.
Um, I actually got to the point where I just wanted to, uh, just share my story. I was able to overcome, certain things. So I wanted to share my story, but I didn't know how to go about it at that moment. So, I kind of laid low a little bit, and I said, as life goes on, I'll be able to find out. I'll be able to get more knowledge of, how I need to come about being a writer, an author.
Well, I have followed you over the last, I would say, few years or so. You
Hmm.
know, the world of social media, Facebook
Yes,
and Instagram, and it allows us to, really get as intimate as we
yes,
want with
yes,
our audience, with our followers, or what have
ye-
you.
yes,
Um, and I mention that because I especially like a lot of your quotes on, say, Instagram.
yes,
Very motivational, very thought provoking,
yes,
and hey, look, and at times very funny. Oh, oh,
yes,
you guys be killing me on Instagram.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, this is something I went through. Maybe I could throw this out here and let somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Kind of grab the fishbowl a little bit, and
Right,
wake
right.
up, but, in the midst of social media, I've actually met, some amazing people. The quotes, just resharing the quotes or whatever. I had one lady was like, she got in my DM and she was like, girl, I'm glad you shared my quote. Somebody needed it. I said, yes, somebody needed it.
That's right. That's right. So I guess let me get back to your book.
Yes.
And you may have to reel me back from time to time, right? But
Yeah.
with respect to your book, how did it come about?
Okay. Um, my first book came about Saving a Godly Marriage here. Let's see if I can get it there. Okay. It came about in the midst of being married for 18 years with someone I met, when I was, quite younger. Um, going through the changes of life, and to be open and honest about it. He had started, committing adultery or whatever. We both was in the church, I was fully all in, and I guess, temptation stepped in, and it took our marriage to a whole nother level. And a lot of people, I kind of have dreams a lot. I dream a lot. And I got to the point where I was just going to God about so many things that I was facing in life. And he got to a point where he just loved, riding four wheelers. And I had this dream, that he had a wreck on the four wheeler, whatever, like that, and it actually happened,
Oh
And so
wow.
he became paralyzed.
Oh.
And so I was, after being in Atlanta, Georgia for a while at Shepherd Center.
Hmm.
Him being paralyzed, the doctor told him he'll never believe, never be able to walk again.
Hmm.
And so when the doctor came in and talked to us, I was like, well, that's what you say. That's not what God say. My faith in God believed that he will walk again. And he did. He began to walk again. And
Okay.
a week after being back home, from the Shepherd Center or whatever like that, I was just sitting
Hmm.
to the desk and I just, you know, book, write. And I'm like, book and write. So I went to him. I was like, well, baby, I just heard book and write. And he was like, well, book and write should, so shall it be. So I
Wow.
began to write the book, and it took me like maybe 3 months to get the book written. And
Okay.
I ran into this publisher, and everything just went off. And ever since then, I just been writing, and it's been my passion, you know. So that's how that
Wow.
book came about.
Wow. So that's part of it too with being aligned and being in tune, having
Yeah.
that spiritual, that godly relationship,
Yes.
and being in a position to hear certain things. Look, some people believe in that, some people don't, or what have you.
Correct.
I can definitely associate with that,
Yes.
because some very similar things, a multitude of them have
Yes.
happened to me in
Oh
that
wow.
light as well.
Okay.
But hearing and then doing something, right? Walking in it and being obedient, if you will.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's where the true test comes into play when you start
Yes.
to step out and walking on faith, right?
Oh yeah. Trying to
Wow.
say yes. Yes.
So
So what
even
an awesome feeling though.
so you just absolutely, you just touched on it about the publishing piece. That was really cool, with I guess being in the right place at the right
I
time.
really was.
Do you want to expand on that? Like, how difficult is it to be or to get published?
To be honest, it's not that difficult at all. Where were we? As a matter of fact, we was just sitting in a coffee shop, and my former pastor at the time, all of us was in there, and she was like, yeah, I didn't tell you, you all that I was going to be meeting a publisher here, to talk with him about my book. If any of y'all are interested in writing a book or something that you want to share with him, he'll be coming here soon. And so that's how that all came about. She kind of just threw it out there at us, and we was already there. So
Wow.
he be, he gave us all the information that we needed. He said, if you already have the book written, here's my email address, send it to me. My company actually go ahead and get it edited for you. He gave us the prices, and we just went forth, and he's been my publisher ever since.
Wow. Now
Yes.
that, man. Okay. Okay. So you
Yeah.
like literally in the right place at the right time.
At the right time.
Oh man, no, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
again, the name of it. Let's see. I, I wanted to make sure I captured it. Did I capture that right? Saving a
Yes.
godly marriage, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I need to piggyback myself and go find a copy of it. Are copies still
Yeah, they are
available? Or?
everywhere. And as a matter of fact, this book is being revised.
Okay.
Yes, it's being revised, but it's still out there. And the only reason why it's being revised because we are no longer together, but we remain to be best friends.
Now that in itself, that's telling in and of itself.
Yeah,
Uh, Not just remain cordial, not just associates, but we remain best
best
friends.
friends. Yes,
Wow.
yes, best friends.
So yeah, I'm sure there's some particulars with respect to, from the book, of course,
Yes,
that captures a lot of things around the dynamics
yes.
of something like that. Zebra,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to kind of put you on the spot,
Okay,
since this is a Write the Mics.
okay.
This is a kind of a tool to allow people to recite certain lines, or be it poetry. In this case, you're
Yes.
writing from your book. So with that, I would like you to recite, choose a line or two that resonates with you, and I would like you to recite it for us.
Choose a line from
Yes.
from the book, correct?
Yep.
Woo. All right. So, and this book is called "Defeating Different Spirits." Okay,
Okay.
this is who I am. We must learn how to submit the flesh to the Holy Spirit. This was the realization I was faced with. God said to me, "Now that I have given you your name of the spirits or what they are dealing with, now that they can be dealt with." Hearing this being spoken to my spirit reminded me of who I am. I'm a warrior in Christ.
Okay. Okay. I can see why that one resonated with you, because it definitely, hit me in the gut in a couple places. A warrior in Christ.
Yes.
And oh man, I think let's see, Zebra. Next month is oh man, I should know this, but I think I'm going to observe something along the lines of
Okay.
it's related to spirituality,
Yes.
and it's going to be. I can already sense and feel that there are going to be some powerful sessions, right?
Okay.
That we are going to partake in and
Okay.
experience. And it's a perfect way to end the calendar year, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just talking about various aspects of spirituality,
Yes.
no matter what that looks like,
Mm-hmm.
with different
Correct.
religions and different denominations within
Right.
Christianity. We
Right.
all know that. So I guess my spirit is telling me to kind of put it out there. So if you're
I got
interested,
you. I got you. Only thing you had to do was say something like that, and you got my attention already.
oh no, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
so yeah, just stay tuned for that. So
Okay.
about that book, right? Saving a Godly Marriage. How has it progressed thus far? Um,
Um. Yeah, it's progressed. Pretty well. I'm constantly like every other week having to. Well, people are reaching out to me about the book.
okay.
How can they get the book? It's in multiple places. Um. I was amazed that it was over in Africa.
Oh
Just
wow.
and being able to order, yes, and getting the good ratings and stuff like that. One girl reached out to me and she was like, I'm just gonna say lady, not girl. I want to address her title, who she is.
Okay.
But she was going through some things sitting at her desk, and she was like, she was just scrolling through the books of Amazon, and the cover of my book caught her attention, and she was like, this got to be a real story. Some people like to write non-fictional or stuff
Right.
like that, but she was like, it actually caught her attention. She seen the Bible, and then, she was going through some things in her marriage, and she
Okay.
literally wanted to reach out to me. So she found me, on social media. I gave her my real phone number, and we actually talked. And as we speak today, her and her husband and their marriage are doing perfectly fine.
Wow. Now that's a testimony in itself.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
That's really cool. Really cool.
yes.
So I mentioned earlier that you were writing, and forgive me if I misspeak, because I think you mentioned in some of our communication a while ago
Mhm.
that you were working on something else, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. So do you care to share anything about your
I don't
upcoming
mind.
book?
I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
All
So
right.
so what is it? What is that one about?
Okay. This book is called The Heart of a Broken Man. And the reasoning for that book is, being married, to a guy with a broken heart, and it's not just only about him, it's about others. You have so many people that's going through, you have some different guys that don't actually know how to say I love you. They
Mm,
show it, but they won't speak it from their mouth. And we have to come to realize that everybody come from different backgrounds.
mm,
Maybe he was not told that
yeah.
I love you. Maybe he was not shown, the love, but he's seeking this from someone else, but he don't know how to treat it. This, say for instance, God blesses me with this mansion that I always dreamed of, but then I get in there and I get to the point where I'm not actually taking care of it. So that's how I look at relationships or people. Sometimes they get what they ask for, while at the same time they don't know how to treat it at the moment. So that's why God gave me that title, The Heart of a Broken Man.
Wow. Now, you really touched on something there,
Yeah,
with respect to asking for something, getting it, and then not taking care of it.
correct. And
And,
that's not
and,
the
and
only book. I have several others.
several, okay, well, I tell
Yeah.
you what, I'm going to make sure I list them.
Yes.
I want to make sure I list them. And at the same time, hopefully, I
Yes.
know we're nearing the end of November,
Yes.
um, but I would actually like to get you back on
It's
and
not a
we kind
problem.
of, yeah, right, touch on a couple other books because I mean, I've always wanted to write a book, and I've written enough that I can compile some of
Yes.
my bodies of work to create
Yeah.
one or to put one together to be published, right? Uh,
Gotcha.
so along those lines, I would probably reach out to yourself and a couple other published authors
Okay.
just to kind of get some additional information, and maybe I'm just going to put this out there too. Maybe it may be a good idea. I'll discuss this with you further and with
Okay. No
the
problem.
guys that I mentioned. It may be a good idea to actually produce and facilitate some type of workshop around, you know, getting published and the business
Yes. Yes.
around it. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Not
Yeah,
a problem. Not a problem.
awesome. And I'm going to say this too, Zebra. I like the fact that you are, and again, correct me if I misspeak. Are you totally a non fiction writer?
I am totally. I write all truth. I
Okay.
write all. Just it's about my life. Like I said, pretty much I'm an open person. I don't like to write. Just make believe stuff.
Yeah.
I want people to know what reality is. I want to know what real life. Situations can do. What it. How it can affect you or how it can make you grow. So that's
Yeah.
why I always talk about basically my life or the things I faced in life, and how I overcame those situations. So,
No, absolutely. And again, that was the precursor, if you will, for my website for lifewriting.com.
yes,
It's about, recording real memories, real
yes,
experiences.
hmm,
And I was like, I want to do it in a creative way via
yes,
creative writing,
yes,
nonfiction.
hmm,
Yeah, be it is I started writing poems. They
hmm,
turned into short stories.
yeah,
They turned into, I mean, all types of things, but
yeah,
all under the realm or in the realm of
yes,
creative writing, right?
yes, yes,
So this is a part of it. And then, as time went on, folks were like, "Hey, man, it may be a good idea if you expand on that, and I think folks will love if you not say create a podcast type of
hmm,
platform, if you will, but just letting people hear it, right?" So I was like, the tagline
correct,
is where
correct,
writing speaks. So I am going to start bringing people on.
yes,
We are
yes,
going to talk about various aspects. In this case,
okay,
their writing.
okay.
I got to value your time, but I want to ask you: do you care to share any closing words, any parting words before I close this out?
I just want to say, if there's a book in you, write it. Share your story. You don't know who may need it. As a matter of fact, I love writing. It's just a desire I have. It's a passion I have. And if anybody want to know, who my publisher is, I don't mind sharing. Um, and if I can help in any way. But I just want to thank you for this opportunity to be here to share a snippet of my book and any other engagements that you may have. I'm all.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Well, I tell you what,
yeah.
hey, thanks again, author Zebbra Henry, for coming by and gracing us with your presence and sharing your
Thank
book
you,
and the
thank you.
backstories behind it and what you have going on in the future. So,
Yes.
again, I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to talking to you later. Okay.
All right, thank you, Chris. You have a great one.
All right, you as well. Okay, everyone, that was author Zebbra Henry sharing the latest and greatest with respect to her writing. She does have, as you heard, another book upcoming, so be on the lookout for that. I thank you guys for always supporting lifewriting.com. Of course, you can continue to share and tell people that we're on Facebook and like us on Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at lifewriting.com. I thank you guys for continuing to support lifewriting.com, where writing speaks.